Hello, everyone. Welcome back to a new week in the life. Today has been a very long day, actually. It's already 3 a.m. here, and I honestly I was so busy doing some tasks for a few of my clients, building out some new workflows and automations, and mostly on the service delivery side of things. Also, a few modules for the team as well that I haven't had. Like it completely didn't cross my mind that I was supposed to record a video at all. But yeah, I've told myself that I have to do it. So even if it's 3 a.m., I was going to go to bed soon in like an hour or so. But yeah, I'll have to wait with that. But get this going essentially with the video. What I wanted to talk with you guys today is essentially with the just the fact that there's like this common misconception, or I had it initially as well, that you can do everything yourself in terms of business. And in some way, I think some years ago that was possible. I don't think it's possible now. Could be a limiting belief of mine, but I just don't believe it. Reason is because when you're running a business, right? And obviously this we can talk about this a lot like on another video and all that stuff in terms of like what business to choose. Obviously it is you should always choose a service-based business when starting out. Reason is because you're trading your time for money, which is a lot less of value depending on your age and depending on the stage you're in when you're starting out a business rather than when you have an established business, right? When you have an established business, you can reinvest money. That's why when people start reinvesting money into ads, right? They start pumping into advertisements and kind of gets the wheel going like that way. But in the start, it's all your time, right? So obviously you want to start a service-based business, right? Now, once you do that, there's a lot of components. Let's say obviously agency model is my model, so that's what I know the most about. In the agency model, obviously you have the actual outreach, and then you have the actual calls, then you have the actual onboarding, and then you have the service delivery. So it's like a four-step process. However, I've noticed that I've not been able to scale from that initial 5K a month, 5, 6K a month mark up until like that 10, 12, 13, 14, 50K a month mark, 15K a month mark because I've been trying to do everything myself, right? And it's this thing where I'll call this for the title of the video as well, right? It's not always the how, it's the who. So it's not always how do we do this or how do we get this going or how do I build this or how do I make sure that I can do this? How do I do this? How do I do that? It's not always the how, it's the who, right? So just find the who in terms of who could do it for you instead of trying to figure out why and how you could do it yourself. So focus on the who instead, and that's kind of what I've been doing as well. I did know I told you guys like start of I think last video or the video before that I was gonna like hiring a lot of setters. I have a total of four now. Alhamdulillah, I have a total of four setters now. They are all for cold calling. One of them started like 2 weeks ago, so he's going strong. One of them started a few days ago, actually, in the middle of this week, and he's like absolutely crushing it. He's like booking 8, 9 appointments per day. The first guy is booking around 4 to 5, sometimes even 6 a day. And then you have the two more that initially one I onboarded on Saturday, which is going to start calling tomorrow, hopefully, and then one I onboarded on Friday, which is also going to start calling tomorrow. So I'll be having four people. Now I can say, like, I've moved away from the cold calling, from the initial standpoint of doing cold calls. I moved away from that. I don't do them anymore. I don't have to do them. There's no point in me doing them. Yes, if I have like 15, 20 minutes available, I'll maybe just jump on the phone and do a few more. Because, like, for example, last week, right, I was only able to do a few cold calls. Let me actually pull up my screen how many I did. I didn't even do a lot, and I'll tell you how many appointments we booked in for that whole week. Um, let's see here. So my cold calling metrics for April, I did yeah, 734 calls. Obviously, I had a great ABR because I know how to call these people. For example, I'll give you an example. On Friday, I called for maybe 30 minutes. I called 114 numbers. I had 8 pickups and I scheduled 4 of them. So that's just to kind of put it into comparison because like my conversations now are entirely different to what I've used to have before. Now I can literally just call someone and it's crazy how once you get so good at something, you just kind of don't do it anymore. You would have thought like, in like in like a corporate job, when you get good at something, like you keep doing it. It's not like you kind of progress. Well, you could get bonuses here and there, but you don't really progress into a different role other than if you've kind of stayed there for 15 years, then you might step up in some regard. But in business, it's like really, really quick. Like I'm doing the cold calls and I'm that good at cold calls right now that it just doesn't make sense. It doesn't justify for me to do more cold calls now. It just doesn't line up with it. I guess, yeah, it just doesn't make sense anymore. So that's just weird. But yeah, at least alhamdulillah, I'm very happy for hiring them in. So now I'm just completely locked in on like the sales side of things. And the mostly the sales side of things, that's just what I'm working on right now. I will be joining like a coaching call I have with like some advertising dude so I can get some feedback on the actual ads and the service delivery side of things. Bear with me, guys. I'm so sorry for being I'm not sorry for it. Actually, I don't know why I'm saying that, but I'm very tired, guys. Today it's been a crazy day. But that's just one important thing. Like it's not always the who, it's not always the how, it's the who, right? You got to just figure out who you can hire out, because there's steps to this there's steps to the business thing, right? There's steps, there's levels, there's always going to be levels, right? And the way that you initially scale from in the same way, let me ask you this, like in the same way, just think about this, right? The same business that gets you to 10K a month isn't the same business that is going to get you to 1 million a month. No, it's not, man. The same business and the same team that got you to 10K a month isn't the same team and business that gets you to 1 million a month. It just doesn't work like that. So in order to get to that initial, I'm around like 5, 6K a month now. And in order for me to get to that next level, I have to eliminate, like enable like a button. You've probably seen like the meme when there's this guy like sweating and then he's like pointing his finger at like a red button. And then let's just say on that button it says full scale. That is literally what we're looking for here. That is what we're trying to do here. We're trying to enable full scale, right? So initially I just press that button and now appointments start flowing in, and that's obviously how it starts. Appointment starts flowing in and then you just build it up from there. And then you'll see how it goes based on that. But um, yeah, that is the plan. It's the plan to just kind of keep going like this and see how where it takes me and see how it goes. And then we'll be able to see. I booked in around, like I didn't, but like the team totally and me as well booked in around like 34 appointments last week, 34, 35. So super excited to see how it goes this week. Honestly, I have no doubts with us, like the team doing, or like us together doing like 10 plus appointments per day. Reason is because if one of the guys gets 4 a day, right, on average minimum, and then the other guy gets like let's even say seven, that's 11, and then the two other guys gets two each, that's like four each, so that's 15. So I could even get 15 per day now, which is just crazy to think about, but it is possible. Ew, I don't know why I did that with coffee, man. Disgusting. But anyways, that's all for this video. There's not a lot I wanted to kind of talk about today as well. These videos, I gotta have them more valuable. I feel like I gotta. One thing is that they're for myself and my accountability to be able to kind of like track the journey and track the progress. But another thing is that it's also for you guys, right? I want to provide value to people watching. There's not a lot of people watching right now, but I still want to provide value to whoever may land on the video like this of mine and watch it initially. I didn't just want it to be like a random ass video out there, but that's where I'm at right now. I'll talk to you guys more next week. I'll film this video a lot earlier. I'll make sure that it's the first thing I do so that I have energy and I'm able to kind of go through it with the actual process and actually talk about stuff instead of just being hella tired and hella like completely gone. So yeah, I'll make sure to do that next week. But for this week, I appreciate you guys watching. I appreciate you guys sticking through. Remember, stay consistent and stay driven, and you'll get there one day. Talk to you guys next week.